Today we're joined by the Biloxi badass, Alan the Talent Belcher in the house. Hey.
Oh, give it up, give it up, give it up, give it up.
Appreciate it.
Now,
yeah,
true badass. Get these gloves out of the way. This guy don't wear no gloves.
He don't wear no gloves.
This guy don't wear no gloves.
Yeah.
This is the bare-knuckle champ over here.
That's right.
That's like something you feel like you'd say in like 1910. Like, you know, like
John L. Sullivan.
Yeah, like you're an enforcer for you know, Meyer Lansky or something like that. Oh, hey, we're gonna send Belcher, the bare-knuckle champ, to come get you.
We're gonna send Belcher to Belcher.
Yeah. See, so do you guys still fight like this, or how does that work? Is that how you guys go?
That's how I go.
That's how you just see?
Hell yeah, brother.
You ever look at the guy after you punch him like, I give you what for, buddy? No? Is that not?
You know why they used to fight like that?
I don't.
Because they would they'd be trying to fight, you know, every week, more than every month, every couple weeks, and they want to break their hands. So they'd mostly do body shots. It was a lot of grappling. There was a lot of like clinching, and so they'd be in this position. You know, if you're just wailing one and you hit one on your head, you got a broken hand. You can't fight now for a while. But you know, it was a different style before like the Marcus and Queensberry rules. It was a lot of like grappling. Like they'd be clinching a lot. That's why it would go 40-something rounds. They weren't taking 40-something rounds punches to the face. It was a lot of body,
body conditioning each other. Yeah, a lot of very barley-driven diets back then. I think.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, a lot of. So did you just say, by the way, Marcus and Queensberry?
Marcus of Queensberry?
The Marquis de Queensberry?
I don't know. I don't know.
It was just some dude out there in Harlem, like, hey, Marcus Queensberry said
Marcus
his thought boy is grabbing. You hear
Listen,
me?
one day Marcus got together with his friend Queensberry, and they had a conversation. Marcus is one guy's first name, Queensberry's the other guy's last name. And they were like, let's civilize this a little bit. Let's put a rule set.
I'm sick of going on these barges.
Yeah.
I keep getting bumped off the barges. We got to bring this stuff to the mainland.
Yeah.
How do we bring the human cockfighting to the mainland,
call my
Marcus?
boy Queensberry. Call Queensberry.
Oh, this Queensberry got some ideas.
He's spitting. Spitting.
So we gonna do like 15 rounds?
Yeah, we'll pop some big pillows on them.
Ah.
You know what I mean?
Nice.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's how the
this way
went.
after the hands break.
Just
we
with a
don't have to
British
put
accent.
them down like horses.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I'm sorry, John L. Sullivan, but without those hand pillows, we're going to have to put you down and turn you into glue, friend.
So, from my little bit of watching the bare-knuckle MMA, now you are a bare-knuckle boxing champion.
True.
And now you're going to be the bare-knuckle MMA champion, which is kind of a new thing.
Yeah.
The bare-knuckle MMA, that's the Gamebred FC.
Yeah.
I noticed a little bit of a difference in the game. I'm interested to hear your take on it. I noticed on the card I watched when like Sean Soriano and all those boys fought, Emiliano, there's a lot more kicks. It was like kind of kick heavy.
Yeah.
You know, I felt like it was kick heavy, and then I didn't think the boxing was there was as much hands. I felt like in most of the fights I watched, people were using the distance, using the kicks a lot.
Yeah.
What differences do you see in bare knuckle MMA versus regular MMA?
Well, I think that the difference in MMA, I don't think it's really, in a way, it's been around for a while, but it like in the modern era of MMA training, the guys are training for gloved MMA, so now they're jumping over into bare knuckle MMA. So I think they're still kind of figuring it out. So where bare knuckle boxing has been kind of back for over, probably 5 or 6 years or something like that. So that's getting figured out.
BKFC, which that's where you were the champ.
Yeah,
that's kind of the biggest ones doing it.
Yeah, exactly. There's a few of them, but BKFC.
Did that start with like Paulie Malignani? How you say that last name?
Molinaggi.
Molinaggi.
This guy can't pronounce anything.
that was probably
Marcus de Molinaggi.
That was probably one of the probably bigger names that kind of like got it off the ground.
Yeah,
or whatever.
And I think a lot of people, a lot of casuals like myself, don't really understand the glove is more to protect the fighter's hands. I've come to understand it. It actually doesn't lessen the impact. Is that true? Do you find that?
No. There's definitely lessens the impact.
Oh, really?
So, like, for instance, like wearing headgear lessens the impact, and like so a lot of guys don't wear headgear in training. Like there's reasons behind that with MMA or whatever, but like the more things you got in between the bones is gonna lessen it for sure. So that's That's why it doesn't take as much to knock someone out.
What are the reasons guys don't train
bare-knuckle.
with headgear? I see that when I follow Killcliff FC. Some guys wear headgear, some guys don't. Like, what is?
I think in MMA there's a different kind of pace. There's a little bit different pace and a different. You're not. It's the practice is it's not as good if you kind of sit down and try to knock your opponent out. You know, it's like a different rate of work or whatever. So it's not really as necessary. And a lot of the guys are moving around and there's a lot of distance in MMA, things like that. But like if you're gonna box someone, like if you're gonna spar like a pro boxer, you know, you would need to wear headgear for sure. Because they're gonna knock your head off. You know.
Plus MMA with the grappling, if you get in a headlock with the headgear, it's all up in your mouth and on your face. You know what I mean?
You know, somebody tries to.
Someone's gonna make. I think Trevor Whitman was trying to make something like that, like a good like headgear for MMA, where you can grapple and do stuff like that. But I don't know if it's
somebody tries to like put you in a guillotine and you know.
Yeah, and you pull out and now your headgear's like
or
covering your eyes.
Breaks your freaking nose or something.
Yeah. Anytime I'm going with someone in headgear, snap them to a guillotine, pull it in front of their eyes, boom, boom, I snap off.
Yeah, that's what you get for trying to protect your brain,
partner.
dickhead.
I blind them and then swing on them.
What did you learn? yeah,
real nice, right?
Hey, look, you know. Then they take the headgear off and you're looking at them like, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I did that to you. I did that to you.
Yeah, don't wear a headgear, nerd. It's like wearing a helmet on a bicycle. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Definitely. And that happened to me when I was a kid too. I remember being like in 6th grade. And then, like, I was wearing a helmet, like, on my bike. Like, my mom taught me to. And then, like, the 8th graders started bullying me. And I threw the helmet, like, over the...
You went home like, Mom!
Yeah. She's like, who cares what these people think? You got to keep that head safe. I was like, I'd rather die. I'd rather die. Wild. Speaking of helmets and bare knuckles, I'm a huge hockey fan. Big hockey fan. There was I don't know if you saw it this weekend, massive tilt between the Rangers.
Oh, yeah. And the 6'7" rookie.
6'9".
6'9", eh?
Chris, were you able to find it? Pull up Matt Rempe. Matt Rempe's going nuts. But here's what's crazy.
What do you mean he's going nuts?
So he's fought 4 times in 5 games.
Oh, yeah,
dude, he got knocked out yesterday.
He got knocked out?
Yeah, but everybody, like, so all the tough guys around the league now are going up. Look at it. Pull this up when you can, Chris. This dude was a 6th round draft pick. He was never supposed to make it, and now he's just like making it in the NHL by hustling his ass off and throwing his body around. And he's got a game-winning goal now too. So this guy he's going up against is one of the toughest
73
dudes.
is the rookie.
And I pause this real quick. And I bring this up because I know you worked with some NHL guys.
Yeah.
And we got the bare-knuckle champ.
Yeah.
So we got NHL guys. Shout out Stefan Matteau, our boy. We got a few NHL guys that are watching this right now. You watch this, bring it a breakdown, and now if you're in the NHL, or if you're Rempe, more importantly, you gotta teach these guys, like, because I'm watching this and I'm like, oh, I don't know if that's the best way to go about it. I don't know if these guys are trained. Takedowns in hockey.
Fixing his jersey, sweater, whatever you call it.
Look at, and that's one of the baddest dudes in the league too.
All right,
that dude's 33 years old, 240 pounds, and our 21-year-old Rempe put it on. So
he's 21.
Yeah, dude.
Fuck yeah, brother.
That was his 2nd game in the NHL.
Nice to see these kids coming up not being soft.
Well, then everybody is. That's why he can't. That's why everybody's like Rempe mania taking over the NHL right now. But now everybody wants him. So he just got popped bad in Columbus last night. But it was 24 hours after the other game, and like people were talking. I'm like, name one state commission that would let this kid fight 24 hours after another fight. Like, it's kind of weird.
So how many did he get into?
He's got in 3 in 5 games.
Really?
Yeah, dude.
I like this guy.
Oh, dude, and he's 6'9", throws his body around. So Belch, you look at that. You see a hockey player right there. What do you think? Does he have a future in the squared circle, as it were?
That's a stupid question, but
hell yeah, he doesn't. He's 6'9".
I mean, you never know.
And he's willing to bang.
No,
I mean, those skates off and then see what the feet are like, you know.
Oh yeah.
But I think there's definitely an attribute of toughness, you know. You gotta have that. You gotta have that heart. You gotta have that dog in you.
Oh yeah. Well,
so these guys got it.
Oh, hockey players for sure. These guys are nuts.
I work with some hockey players back in Biloxi.
Really?
We got a little minor league team there.
Did you teach them a thing or two?
I mean, a little bit. Yeah, I mean, they teach me a lot, really.
Really?
Yeah, because they're just tough. They're badasses.
They're dogs.
Yeah.
Hockey players are. I mean, you know, Mickey hates this term, built different, but hockey players are built different.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I probably learn more from the hockey players than I literally.
How so?
I've never tried to show any of the hockey players any moves or
really,
anything because I'm like, that's y'all. that's your thing. And
I figure the uppercut would be more prevalent than it is because they hit the helmets. They just throw punches right into the helmets. It's crazy. They used to do a thing. It was a courtesy where
They both pop the helmets off.
you fight me, I fight you. We take our helmet off like gentlemen. But the NHL, in its infinite wisdom, tries to get rid of fighting by saying it's a 5-minute major if you take your helmet off.
Gay.
Yeah. And it's also 5-minute, an extra or 10-minute misconduct if you pull someone's jersey off also. So, like, they tried to get rid of fighting without saying that they got rid of fighting.
you play hockey?
No, but I loved it. I love a huge fan.
Imagine him as a goalie, bro. Good luck.
I'd be a defenseman, bro. I'd be just slap shots and body checks all day long, bro. Just letting it rip from the blue line.
How have they not got like the biggest, fattest person ever and just laid them in front of the fucking?
They've tried it, but these
it?
guys are so good. They're sharpshooters.
They'll
They can
find
pin,
it. They'll
Yeah,
find
the goalies are actually really thin and like they're like acrobats.
Yeah, I'm surprised by that.
Yeah, they're like well now it's crazy because they're getting these acrobats, but the acrobats are like 6'4", 6'5". Like all these Russian guys are like jumping in the splits and they're like,
Shesterkin.
well, Shesterkin's tiny. He's like an old school guy. He's like 5'10", like Richter
really?
was. But the guy like Vasilevsky and like those other guys, this guy like 6'5". You know, but like I'm like touch their like wild, you know. But anyway,
Belch, what's something you learned from a hockey player, and why wouldn't you think you could show them a little?
No,
fight
I
in
probably
something?
could. It was just out of respect. Like they you know, I don't know. I mean, I think that if, I wouldn't want somebody to try something that.
To like go over to you and be like, hey, what about this? We do this in hockey fights.
Yeah. We talked about it a little bit, but I mean, just by being around those guys, I've learned a lot about like just like their mentality of the like intimidation and how they're, you know, how the fights kind of go down and, you know, mindset.
if you've never seen a hockey game live, you don't like it's nuts. Imagine something that's like 3/4 the size of a football field with guys going 30 miles an hour just banging into each other.
Every time I've been
to
to a hockey game, I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna become a big fan of this. I'm gonna follow this like every week, and I never did.
It doesn't really translate to TV.
Yeah,
it really doesn't. You know, as much as fighting is great on TV, it really does. It doesn't hold a candle to seeing it in person. It really does.
Fighting,
like you've got
too? Yeah.
Like to hear the crack when someone gets cracked, it's like, and you feel the energy.
Yeah,
there's really something. Like you have to experience it. You know, you were working with the hockey players though. What were you teaching them?
Yeah,
spinning back
for
fists?
the record, I didn't come in. I didn't go in there. I was like, "Hey guys, let me show you how it's fucking done." All right? But
So
they
here's the
asked
thing.
me to show them
So
some stuff.
Canadian asshole comes up to you. What you're gonna do is you're gonna flick it and you're gonna the double, okay?
Yeah, I was like, you're gonna take that blade off first,
yeah.
right? We're leading up kicks. Like it's not legal.
Are you allowed to teep?
I
Are you allowed
had
to
to
teep?
learn a little bit myself, actually, and I did a little research. I studied. I had to learn the rules. I was like, can y'all elbow? And they were like, no. I was like, got it. All right, noted.
But it is only 2 minutes in you know the no box. So
for an elbow?
Yeah.
I mean,
maybe
throw some bows. But I did a little research, and what I did was I employed a little bit of gi, judo, and jiu-jitsu to kind of steer your opponent, to keep, if you can like kind of pull them and get them off balance, so you kind of lead the dance. If you pull them each time, so you can stick, you know, get your distance, then you kind of pull and step. I was teaching them like how to step and stuff. So you pull them and like, pull them into a right hand. Yeah, you know.
My understanding is that's breaking the unwritten rules. Gentlemanly, I think they're supposed to grab onto each other so that they hold each other up while they hit each other.
Yeah, well, we're coming for blood here.
You're trying to win or what?
Exactly.
It's hard to tell with Canadians, you know. It's not like they're very happy about the way that they ask for the fights. They go up to the guy, are like, "Hey, man, you want to have a bout?"
Yeah, that's hilarious. Have you ever seen that?
Sure, I'll have a go.
They'll literally go up and be like, "Hey, want to do it?" And they'll be like, "Okay,
sure, I'll have a go."
Like that, it's not like, "Hey, motherfucker, let's go." Like it's usually pretty like cordial.
It's like, and then afterwards,
hey,
like,
want to go?
"Oh, hey, that was a good one, eh? Yeah, all right."
Yeah,
that's what the hockey players told me. They were like, "You say you want to go." And the guy says, "Yeah."
So you can't just. That was something I wondered. Is like if you could just like start fighting them, but you have to get like an agreement. It has to be like agreed upon. Like someone could also be like, no. Like sometimes it'd be like, no, like you suck. Why would I? You know what I mean? I'm not going to the penalty box because of you.
That's a big one. It's like you're garbage, bud.
Yeah,
my team needs me on the ice. They won't miss you for 5 minutes, bud.
Yes.
What about the big guy that just keeps going to the little guys? And you want to go?
Yeah,
you want to go?
Yeah,
only the little guys.
Only their best players. It's like I'm the worst player. I'm the fourth liner. I keep going up to like the captain of the other team. Like, hey, bud, how about this time? I'm not fighting you.
I'm not gonna fight you, you idiot.
He only tries to ask people to fight in the offensive zone. going to like stop the rush. It's like, hey, let's fight. You know? Yeah, I don't know. I love the sport. It makes no sense.
Yeah, you watch your Rangers
I love
every
it.
game.
I love it. You know what I love about it, man? I played most of the other sports, so I can have like an opinion. Hockey, I don't know. I'm just a dumb fan. So I'm like, why did you shoot it into the net?
Yeah.
Like, you know, like all the other sports, like football and stuff like that. I'm like, man, don't run off guard. God damn it. You know, like it kind of takes the fun out of it because I'm sitting here going like, if I know that they're going to do a play action here, how the does the defensive coordinator not know a play action's coming? It makes me upset. But in hockey, I'm just like, okay, cool.
Do puck things.
Yeah. Skate fast, shoot hard.
Yeah.
Go team.
Deke 'em.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I love it. I wish it was more popular. But it's like hockey, I feel like, and MMA, boxing, are the last places where, like, men are allowed to be men in North America. Like, everything else has just been, like, nobody even dunks in the NBA anymore.
Kind of crucified, huh?
You know, you hit the quarterback in the NFL. You used to stand over the NFL like, yeah, I hope he dies. You know, now it's like, flag.
Uh-huh.
You know, I just,
Soft.
there's nothing about it that, like, I like.
Yeah.
You know, I like the fact that it was hard. I like the fact that somebody would get hit hard and, like, hop up and be like, good hit. And I'm like, oh, that's a bad mother, you know?
Yeah.
And, everybody knows it's probably better for you this way, but, like, did anybody sign up for this for health? Like, I don't think some people really understand that, like, longevity isn't necessarily the goal for everybody.
Yeah.
You know? I don't care how long the ride is. I care how cool.
Fighting's not healthy.
No.
It's not healthy for you.
Yeah.
But we do it because it's, you know, it's inside us. It's like it's a purpose thing. It's inside you. You know what I mean? You don't do it because you're like, I'm gonna live 100 years.
I hope you do, but also like I don't care how long the ride is. I care how cool the ride is. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, like, would you trade an extra 10 years of your life to work what would you have done if you weren't fighting? Would you be an accountant?
I would think it probably something with sports. Yeah.
What other sports did you play?
Played baseball and basketball.
No. What position in baseball?
I played in high school. I played all around. I played a couple years at junior college, so I played like third base and outfield.
Nice.
Center field, catcher a little bit.
Atta baby.
Yeah.
Tough bastard there. Right, third base, man. Hardcore position. A lot of people don't know this. Where the ball is statistically hit the hardest on the field.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And you have to have insanely quick reflexes, and then after you have the insanely quick reflexes, you got to be able to throw the ball across the diamond. It's a remarkably difficult position, especially with middle bats. Metal bats, yeah.
Yeah.
Where'd you play JUCO at?
Dyersburg State, Tennessee.
See, this is what I'm talking about. Baseball players are the best athletes, son. All right? You take Stipe Miocic, college baseball player, you put him in the octagon, champ. You take, I don't know.
Belcher, champ.
Yeah. You take Alex Pereira, who's unbelievable, but I saw him swinging a golf club. He ain't making it on the diamond, buddy.
He's a champ.
He's a champ.
So after you just disproved your theory.
No. Pereira couldn't play baseball, but baseball players can play Pereira's sport.
If Pereira grew up playing baseball, he could play baseball.
You think so? What do you think?
No.
You think as a 5-year-old was swinging a bat?
The point that you're trying to make is there's definitely some people that can't move, but they can fight. So there's certain, like, baseball takes certain movements. It's mechanical, and basketball,
like Ben Askren.
Basketball takes.
You'd say like a Ben Askren couldn't play baseball? That's one I could see more.
I could see Ben Askren's a world class wrestler. Mm-hmm. World class.
Yeah.
You think Ben Askren could, get off a block
you ever see
catch a football? Like.
You ever see like wrestlers like play basketball, and they dribble with like their palm, and they're like, they're kind of jumping, and like their heads is straight down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's fun, and then they take. Oh, it's one of the funniest things.
Who are we talking about this with? Where that's the biggest.
Michael Johnson and Greg Jones. Yeah.
In the last 10, 15 years, early on days of UFC, it seemed like big, strong dudes, incredibly, what would you call it? Disciplined people within their techniques.
I don't know. I felt like in the old days, it was more like outlaws in the game.
Yeah, but like there was a wrestler who was a wrestler, but he wasn't necessarily a strike. Like I just feel like everybody is better athletically and kind of more well-rounded now. From a fan looking outside,
you have to be an athlete now.
You have to be.
Yeah, I mean, and it's a big part of it. You have to have more. You have to have more attributes. Especially like you have to have striking and grappling and wrestling and that type of thing. And eventually it'll be about who can move the best, who has the best coordination and that type of thing.
When do you think that change happened? You guys both.
Well, I'd say with the expansion of the sport, the more it grows, the more it's gonna just raise the level for everything. But going back to your baseball thing, I think baseball because everybody, at least in America, plays baseball growing up. So if you get to like a high level in baseball, everyone, they started them at T-ball. Little girls are playing it. You know what I mean? If you get to a high level, like you definitely are, you are a special athlete. I'll say. You have a good eye. You got coordination. You got hand-eye. You know what I mean? Like you definitely, I definitely think put some respect on the baseball players.
Any athlete, and I'm definitely not shitting on wrestlers. When I say this, people think I'm shitting on wrestlers. I just think that there's a difference between being an athlete and being athletic.
Wrestler with any baseball player,
for sure. And it's not even close. And like, look at those guys; those are professional athletes. Those are unbelievably great athletes. Look how tired they got after like 1 minute of throwing hands with each other. These are world-class athletes, and look at they banged for like what? How long was that fight?
Not very long.
60 seconds, and then they were like, "All right, are you done? I'm done."
When you say athletic, you're talking about like coordination, suppleness, and things like that. Is what you mean, probably, right? It's like
neuromuscular synapse, right? Kinesthetic stuff, muscle chains, being able to say to my body, okay, do this way, fire these muscles in this order, and then be able to repeat. Athleticism is more than necessarily quantifiable by like 40-yard. You see this all the time in the NFL. Like a guy will be a first-round draft pick who had bad college stats because he goes out, runs a 40-yard dash, 4.3, unbelievable, jumps 65 inches. Like he's a crazy athlete. But then he goes out there and he's terrible because he's not athletic. Right. Does that make sense? Is what I'm saying making sense or not?
Yeah, because you're talking about, like what I'm saying, the attributes within it, you're valuing those as athletic.
Yeah.
Or whatever, but
the sum of the parts is like greater than the whole type.
The way I see that is that an athlete. What you're saying is an athlete is the person that has the drive. It's more of a mindset. It's more like a mental type of thing.
Yeah, I think it's the ability to put it all together, right? Like if you looked at a guy like I don't know, I'm trying to think of an example. Like give me a wide receiver that was like a bust, like Carlos Rogers or something like that. And you look at him and you look at a Wes Welker, you're like, okay, I want Carlos Rogers 100 times out of 100. Wes Welker's going to the Hall of Fame. Nobody knows who Carlos Rogers is, right? And it's he had like athleticism, you know what I'm saying? Like he had these attributes, but if that was the case in your sport, the bigger, faster guy would win every single time, right? I mean, and I'm sure being big and fast helps. It certainly doesn't hurt, but there's more to it. The ability to use that size and strength, maximize it, is probably the most important thing, I would imagine.
Yeah.
You've mentioned mindset a couple times. Just now talking about it with an athlete, talking about it with the hockey players. Is that something you're big on? And if so, I kind of knew you would be.
Yeah.
What I mean, you're not going to get to high level in this sport if you're not big on that. And what could you share some of that with not just myself, but any some of the young MMA fans that are probably listening to this right here?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Let's get into it. It's like I think what a lot of fighters look at is they look at what the other professional fighters are doing as a whole, as opposed to what the top 1% are doing, like what the champions are doing. They're doing something a little bit different, and it's the mental side is different for them. Just really understanding how to peak for a fight, how to get your mind right for the fight, stay calm, like Fedor Emelianenko and
cold as ice,
Islam and Khabib. These guys are just like cold killers, So there's a certain type of mind that it takes to be a champion like that, So that's the type of people that I study, and it's the mind that makes a difference, because a lot of those guys have a lot of holes in their game, you would say, or whatever. But the mental thing is a big difference.
So you look at a guy like Fedor, right? I'm always interested in when you have these when you have these like face-offs and you guys are taking the pictures the day before, and you know you have the press conferences. Does any of that actually affect the fight? Do you think at all? Do people win or lose the fight in a face-off, or is whether or not the guy looks me in the eyes? Does any of that matter, or is that just all kind of for sure?
I mean, it depends on what. So everything that's out there is not actually the fact is that it's not affecting you. You're letting it affect you. So like, say for instance, like you got the lights in the crowd and all that type of stuff. Mm-hmm. It's not the lights in the crowd that makes you emotional. It's your interpretation of it.
Got
you
it.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah. So stoicism, kind of.
Yeah, and so you have to figure out a strategy to where you can find your flow, however you perform the best on a day-to-day basis. Just like every day is a game day. Every day is just like you're going into the fight, and then you take that into the fight. And what a lot of guys do wrong, or what I did wrong early in my career was there's some type of more a higher meaning or something on fight day or fight week, and then you use these emotions and stuff, and it works on a lower level, and that's a lot of other sports, like just say football, for example, where like a rage and emotion might come in handy in that type of short term little thing or whatever. But when it's a fight, that those type of emotions are going to get you in trouble. So like all those fighters that I mentioned, they don't use emotion in there. Or you look like Gordon Ryan in the jiu-jitsu scene, no emotion at all. Unless you are looking at like his emotional state is very stoic and very calm and in the moment, if that's an emotional state. But when you talk about emotion and you're talking about sports, you're thinking about kind of like the
getting hyped up,
getting hyped up, that
yeah.
type of thing. So, that doesn't really serve you. Those are just kind of unhelpful type of things, And so it's all just like it's an illusion, it's a trick. So when the face off and all these things, it's all for the fans, and all the press conference and all that type of stuff. And it is, you just gotta separate it from
the face off is a lot of like shit. Yeah. Like you go, it is just kind of like you said, for the fans. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I could say one time. Actually, there's multiple times where I've gained confidence from a face off.
Is that right?
Yeah, like because one. You get to actually see your opponent right there, look at them, and your whole mind in camp, they're bigger and stronger than they were, than they appear right there. Right. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's one thing. And there's one time where I was like, I saw in someone's eyes that he didn't want to be there. He was just kind of like, and there is almost like a little thing in the face-off where it's like, all right, we're gonna come up here and we're gonna pretend for a second, and we're gonna go back and start.
The eyes don't lie, Chico.
But there was one time in one fight where I like saw the guy and I was like, he doesn't want to be here, and like I'll never forget like that look, like it's still like burned in my mind.
And that man was Phil Brooks.
It was not him. He gave a real hard look.
Did he really?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't shake your hand either, right? Was that right?
That's right.
Yeah. Well.
That's right, trying to clown your boy.
Yeah, the emotional state. I'm so happy that guys like you, big, strong, tough guys that have had success, are talking about this, because I feel like this was very, very taboo back when I was playing, and information like this would have been remarkably helpful to me. And I've talked about it a lot on this podcast, so I'm not going to bore the listeners. But the skills for me were all there. I was very, very skilled. I was a mental midget. I could ruin a weekend, go 5 for 9 with 4 home runs and just be a game wrecker, and then take an 0 for 12 the rest of the week because an umpire made a bad call on a 3-2 pitch, and I got struck out instead of got the walk, and I festered on it for 2 games. Like, I couldn't, but at the same time, kind of my ego and my arrogance really helped me. Like, if I was a first-round draft pick, I've told you about this, like, this dude would be on the mound, and I'd be in the on-deck circle being like, all right, so this $8 million better at baseball than me? Oh, okay, we'll find out. Like, so that ego kind of got me to where I wanted to be.
Right.
So I don't think you can get anywhere without ego, but you have to be able to control it and understand it and, harness it, really.
Yeah. It's interesting that you said it early in your career you struggle with it, because there seems to me to be like...
What could you talk about that a little more? Like what like, what did you learn? What did you learn from going through those, like, learning those hard lessons? Where, like, you didn't do a good job of what? You were in there rageful and, like, overly aggressive or hyped up, and now you've learned how to kind of tranquilo a little bit.
Well, it's not like you did bad. You had 15 fights in the UFC.
No,
It's not like you were getting dragged or mollywopped by or Queens. This is where a place like Barwis really helps. Being around guys, because there's nothing. I think we all agree. There's no substitute for reps. Time is the best teacher. But unfortunately, in your professions and mine before it, I ran out of time before I gained enough wisdom. And the best thing I ever heard, and it got too late in my career, was, dude, this is your job. Mm-hmm. Just treat it like a job. You gotta, like, you're showing up every day. Like, imagine if you were like, an accountant and you showed up and, like, or you were a salesman and every time you didn't make a sale, you took a bat to the water cooler. Yeah. Like that, you'd be put in a padded room, man. Yeah. It's like, all right, bro, you didn't make the sale. On to the next one, whatever.
100%.
And he said it, my coach said it to me, man, and it was like I almost got cold in my body. It makes all the sense in the world. This is my job. And he goes, you're a professional baseball player and you act like an amateur. I don't need you to go 4 for 4 with 4 home runs every game. I need to know that the ball comes to you, you're going to catch it. I need to know, you're going to take a walk and you're going to get a single. I just need the same thing from you every day. Right. I need you to be a pro. I was like, shit, man. Because my highs were high and my lows were low. And by that time, it was like, man, I wish you'd have told me this shit 4 years ago. Like that was the most brilliant thing I had ever heard at that level. Like, you had kind of gotten past the whole idea of, like, you can out-athlete, out-emotion everybody. Everybody's at the same level now. Right. You just got to be a pro.
Yep. And what works for you at that lower level, it only works so far. So you keep going. You have to grow from that. And I think what you're talking about is, like, when you went against the draft pick guy, there's less pressure. And so, like, the Polyarus fight, that's another thing about that, is I needed to fight guys that were just a higher level because it removed the pressure from it. I lost to guys that I was better than, because I just,
interesting,
figured out how to make a mistake or whatever. Yeah, the pressure is one of those other things that you just make up in your mind. It's all fake that you make up in your mind,
It is, but also there's a lot of pressure in what you guys do. There's a lot of external pressure. They put a ton of pressure on you, not just to win the fight, but then to win a certain way for money. Yeah,
your health and your wealth is on the line. But I agree with what you're saying. We put extra. Right. We put a lot of extra on ourselves. And probably anybody in anything.
Yeah, I mean, you can remove it. You can remove it all. Your health and your health. I mean, because the fact is, you're not really going to get hurt that bad. You're not, there's a very, very small chance that you're going to die in there. Right. It's happened, or some kind of bad brain injury, broken neck or something like that. These bad injuries, it's like 1 in a million, So I got one younger fighter that I talked to a lot about the mind and stuff. And he's like, man, I'm willing to die in there. I'm like, I've always been willing to die in there too, but it was
but
like,
it's probably not going to happen.
That's an unnecessary thought. That's an unnecessary thing. You're not going to die in there, so why are you bringing death into it? There's almost a 0% chance that you're going to die in there.
Right.
Like, there's almost 0% chance. The referee is going to protect you. I mean, things would have to go very bad. So you could make the argument. You're like, well, this is, your health is on the line, and you could die in there. And it's like, yeah, you could, but it's like a 0.001% chance that you're going to get severely injured. And that's the fact. And that's the one that you're going to hold on to. And that's where you stick to the facts like that, then, everything
I
gets
think people would think that not bringing it to that high of a level would make them lackadaisical. You know what I mean? What could make them be like, all right, well, it's whatever.
They're not taking it seriously enough?
Yeah, kind of. That's what I think. Because I know I'm guilty.
I've heard you say that a lot. Yeah.
When I fight, like, I'm ready, I'm prepared to kill or die. You know what I mean? I want to win more than I want to breathe. Which, again, you know what I mean? All that is, it is putting pressure. And I also know, I do a lot of stuff where I'm, I try to stay in the moment, try and just get where am I right now? I'm, right now I'm literally right now I'm standing on a podcast. But even if I'm in the back, I'm just in the back room. My feet are on a mat. You know what I mean? I'm chilling. I'm walking out. I'm not in the fight. You know what I mean? I kind of keep myself kind of level, like doing things like that. Mm-hmm. But what you're saying totally makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it is. I think that's the thing. A lot of us do is we're like, I don't. There is no June 2nd. You know what I mean? June 1st.
That's a common. That's definitely a common thing with athletes early on, is that they can't see past their event because their mind is in the future on the event. You see what I'm saying? And that's literally what anxiety is. So you're just giving yourself all this anxious energy, and it's like today, like I'm on this podcast right now, and this is the thing that's in front of me right now. So today's problem.
Staying
the
present.
The fight's coming later. It's all unnecessary.
Staying present is a difficult thing to do, but it is something that we need to all kind of practice. Because when you're present and in the moment, you know what I mean. That's that flow state. That's where that's where the best happens. When you're thinking about the future, or especially in a negative way, that's anxiety. Thinking about the past, that's depression.
Yeah.
If you're in the present moment, you're set up to have the most success.
Right. I'm almost blown away. You've got to fight in 5 days against a heavyweight, bare-knuckle, and I'm like, you're so calm, it's calming me down. Your energy's so calm, my energy's getting calmer. That's
fighting a former UFC champ, Junior Dos Santos.
Junior Dos Santos.
Yep.
One of the greatest
of
all time.
One of the greatest heavyweight champs in the UFC.
I mean, that's just so it's so impressive. I mean, how did you come to this understanding of yourself in the sport? Because
I don't like to lose, and I'm very competitive, and so that's where my confidence comes from, actually. So you mentioned earlier about getting confidence from something, and I mean that happens all the time. I have a lot of, and what we're saying about the weigh-ins, it does matter because you can affect that guy, or it could affect you, right? But the point I was trying to make earlier is that the highest level of this is not being affected by anything, and then just going into a sparring session, just like sparring at Kill Cliff, whatever, and that's the fight. It's just like sparring, So the confidence, I try not to get my confidence from anything or any you know what I mean? Because these things are not gonna,
because it could be affected. You're trying to keep everything
under
your control.
Exactly. That's it. It's not. Yeah, exactly. The only thing that I can really control is like I know the facts. I mean, that's all that we can really do is like what's the reality of the whole situation, and when you know that, you have confidence in the reality. So you are. I mean, you're like, let's say, I don't want to say this. Your confidence is self-confidence is what you're looking for. And if so, all of a sudden a wrestling match broke out or something, is like I know that I would want to win. You know what I mean? It's like it kicks in. My will to live and my will to win is very strong, so I don't really need to think about anything. So when I get into the fight, I'm gonna fight. I'm coming to fight, that type of thing.
And you've proven it to yourself time and time again. You don't have to worry about if that is there.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
In you. You know it's in you.
Yeah, it really is. And like when you go to your fight, you don't need caffeine, do you? No, because you're like exactly. You have a lot of energy. You have a lot of energy because it's a dangerous thing that you're going to do. So that danger makes you on the edge, and that's where you perform the best.
On the edge.
So you don't need.
I gotta be.
Yeah. So you don't need caffeine. So it's like it's gonna kick in. So it's like you look at everything like that. It's like when the time comes, it's gonna be there. So the best thing that I can do is be calm. Be calm, right?
There's so much for people who are not fighters to take from this as well. Mm-hmm. Something where your business is choppy. Well, your home life is under.
Go ahead.
Good.
Well, I when we were with Dante Palmentary, friend of the show,
great kid, yeah.
When we were training him, and he was doing like some boxing, and he's like, well, shouldn't I go like in here? And I was like, well, why? Like, what's the plan? I was like, and it was funny, like, not to toot my own horn, but I kind of surprised myself when he was, how I was like, well, what's the if there's a purpose? It's like with anything in life, do it with like the purpose. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you, go inside. If you got a nice body shot, gonna go like left hook to the head, then yeah, definitely go and do it. But don't do something with no purpose. You know what I mean? Anything you do in life, really. I think this stuff we're talking about.
100%. The difficulty isn't necessarily in thinking this way. You know, we all know we shouldn't worry about things we can't control. You know, but the difficulty is in the application. How do you? It's one thing to know you should control your emotions and your mindset and your outlook more. You know, control your environment more than it controls you. We all know that. How do you do it? Sometimes things go wrong, start spiraling. You get angry, you get sad, and you can't get back on track. You know, so how did you come about this understanding, and then what do you do to kind of what do you do to kind of implement it?
All right, so yeah, I guess first question is like, you know, I fought in the UFC, and I made it to, you know, my last couple of fights. I relate a lot to what Brian Ortega is doing right now. He disappeared for a little while. So like my last fight in UFC, I was 29, so I was pretty much done before 30. And those fights, the last two fights, Yushin Okami and Michael Bisping, these were like top 1 and 2 guys, and we're going for a title shot type of thing, you know. But to me, those losses they just crushed me, and I was just like, man, maybe this isn't for me. But everyone else looking in is like, these are the best guys in the world,
top 3 in the world,
exactly. Yeah. And it was just, but to me, I couldn't really handle it, you know. So I had to step away from the sport, you know, and I had, you know, personal life relationship, you know, went through, I used to be married, and, you know, we got kids together and you know, business things, whatever. So like back in the day, the money in the sport still is not like what it is in a lot of other sports. But, you know, even back in the day, you had to do other things, you know? So like right from the get go, I had a gym and all this, you know, so like I had other avenues.
A lot of things pulling at your time.
Yeah, exactly. I just didn't realize that it wasn't fulfilling, you know. I kind of had this money game, this money scheme thing that was like just implanted in me by other people, you know, or like what other people say that you're supposed to do or whatever. And so I
as like markers of success.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily about like, you know.
Exactly. It's I mean, it's like an animal instinct to have a higher status than everyone else, and that's what we're all trying to do. We're trying to have the best car, the best clothes in the house, and it's like, what do you do for a living? Yeah. You know, and it's like, how much do you make and whatever, you know.
That's
so
something
like,
Gerard always says when people ask like, what do you do for a living? It's like they're asking like, how much should I respect you?
Yeah. It's 100%.
That's what you say? Is that
100%. I always, you know what I always tell them? I'm in janitorial sales.
Yeah,
100%. And then watch them not want to have a conversation with you. We were at a big thing in Vegas where people were like, so, hey, what do you do? And I understand that's a little different because that's a networking thing. But I still was like, I am in janitorial sales. And then they were like, well, how do you know Mickey? I'm like, well, he's my lover. So, and then they're like, they don't know whether I'm being serious or not. Come back around a half hour. Like, why didn't you tell me you were a comedian?
Because you would have said, tell me a joke.
Yeah. Why would it matter? So now you're nice to me?
Yeah.
You know, when I was the gay janitor, you weren't so nice. But now, you know what I mean? So
you told people we were lovers, eh? This is news to me.
Sorry, Chris. Yeah. Sorry. I didn't mean to get it on your boy there. So you step away. You're in a pressure cooker. You're the top of the game. And it's one of the most highly competitive things on earth. You guys are fighting another human being. And the funniest thing too, as I've gotten to know Mick and you know and love him as a brother, not a lover, the comments are so nuts to me. What people say and like how they feel like entitled to talk, and it's like, you understand that there's like 40 men on earth that can beat this man in a fight, maybe. Yeah. On earth. There's 40 men that he would even stand a chance on earth. And you're out here tweeting away, and it's like, in what world do you think you can do this? You know, you got up.
Right.
Yeah, there's like 11 people on earth that may have a chance to do that. The other 8 billion of you are dead. Every breath you breathe in my presence is a gift I grant you. Like, how do you, like, and it's just, how do you not, like, internalize, like, again, I could never do what you guys do, because I would internalize that in the first time somebody said something, and I wasn't in the right frame of mind. I'd be like, I'm going to find you, Chris. I'm going to find everything you love, and I'm going to burn it to the ground.
Right.
Like, how dare you?
Well, I knew back then, I knew how I was supposed to act, but it was like all an ego thing. So like I could act, and you'll hear this all the time, because everyone knows the right things to say and the right things to act. So they're like, the comments don't bother me, that don't bother me, whatever, you know. But it really does, because they haven't really internalized it, and they haven't sat with it alone, you know. So that's my old self. So like, I used to seem a lot of the same, but on the inside it's different, you know, and that's allowed me to take it to.
Are you saying, like, you know that the comments in this shit, but that it's easier, you can say,
but, exactly,
like,
you can say it's shit, but how does it really bother you?
But how do you, do you
exactly.
actually, okay, gotcha.
Exactly. And I have,
that's
like,
interesting.
and I think that the way that I deal with that is pretty simple, and I teach this to my kids, and it, like, anybody can use it in life, is hate only comes from below you. And so that kind of feeds your natural status anyways. So I really just want to be better than everybody else in the world. And, you know, that's the drive of the will that's inside of me that I can't really control. So, you know, I just rework how I think about things. So if the hate is, like, there's literally there's no hater that's going to hate on you that's a higher level than you.
Right.
So if you hate on me, you're literally below me.
Yeah. Like 50 Cent probably doesn't count, but 50 Cent will hate on you from above. Yeah, he's like one of the very few, probably, you know, like.
They call that petty, right?
He's petty, boy. Yeah, he's petty.
I like that a lot.
I would say if 50 Cent hated on me, that's just my rule. It's like, that's how I internalize it.
Then he's definitely lower than you in the fighting game.
Well,
so he's coming up from there, yeah.
Yeah.
No doubt about that. We're also all guinea pigs in this, too. So we're all learning this. This is the first time in the history of humanity, really probably the only other time would have been the invention of the printing press, where somebody could say something from a completely safe distance. And it's all conflict.
Bro, Gerard, the reason why I was talking about this, he was getting eaten up in the comments from this video we did. Probably
whatever.
Probably, yeah, he was on these guys on the Whatever podcast,
which I've lost all respect.
Their fans came out, boy.
Oof.
And like they were like they were like, what do you bench? Which I don't know why they'd ask you that when meanwhile you could bench like
no idea.
They're like, how many times did you bench 225? He's like 38 reps raw was the most I ever did. What about you?
Yeah. What's up, bro?
Like, he's like giving his stats and shit.
Yeah.
Like, so are you processing this as
with the Whatever specifically? Yes, but with Whatever specifically, I want their whole audience, because that's a bunch of guys that feel left behind by our culture, that are looking for something to latch onto, and those guys are false prophets. They should listen to this. They shouldn't listen to Whatever podcast. They shouldn't listen to Fresh and Fit. Those guys are false prophets. All right. So we proved it, because that bitch
that shit. And I wasn't really like I'm not very familiar with them or what they do, all that. But they kind of proved it with so their whole thing is they just kind of like, say again.
Tell me about it.
Are you familiar with the Whatever podcast?
I don't know that one. I know Fresh and Fit.
So yeah,
is it like that?
Very much so.
Okay.
They sit there.
I don't really know either of them.
Just for people that don't know, give it real quick and then go.
Yeah.
These guys are part of the quote unquote manosphere, the red pill thing. You know what I mean? And which I'm red pilled. I'm based. You know, I'm all about it. But I think it's very, very important, if you're going to be kind of counterculture, you have to come from an intellectual perspective. You can't just be the exact same thing the woke left is on the right. You can't just be a counter clown. You have to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm not sure that red pill is really counterculture anymore. That's popular culture now. It's
I think red pill's become a bad thing.
It's become a general. It's like a general obvious, like, hey, I'm red pill. I'm cooler than you. So it's like, I mean, is that really
I feel like red
grain?
pills now has like kind of like a bad, it's almost like I believe in the beginning of woke. that was a good thing.
Yeah.
Like woke was like, it's like, yeah, I'm woke. Like I'm down with, I understand what's going on. I'm awoke. I'm awake. You know what I mean? But it's obviously taken, now woke's like it's a horrible thing.
Oh, it's crazy. What, did you see Google AI and everything? You watching any of that with Google AI? Oh, Google came out with an AI, and it's just a propaganda machine. It's just rewriting history.
Really?
Yeah. So, like, you ask Google's AI, like, show me a picture of the founding fathers, and it's like a Indian woman.
Yeah, I saw some.
Yeah, you're like, are you positive?
Oh,
this
you
is
mentioned
the founding
that.
fathers?
You said that they said George Washington wasn't white?
Yeah, you asked, like, hey, Google, not that it matters, but if you Google, you're like, hey, was George Washington white? They were like, people don't know. He might have some African ancestry. It's like, what? Are you sure? You're 100% sure?
Pretty sure he was a ginger.
Yeah, so whatever does is they get these girls who are OnlyFans girls, young girls that are living, a promiscuous lifestyle on. Yeah. And they get into these quote-unquote debates with them, and then the clips are always, like, selectively edited.
It's them dunking on them.
So,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I've seen some of them,
yeah. So, look.
It's entertaining.
And everybody called me a simp. Now, the first 98 episodes of our podcast, Gerard hates women.
Yeah.
Mickey's the feminist. I hate women. Now, in this,
I'm a self-proclaimed feminist.
Okay.
Big time feminist guy.
He flexes and wears the cowboy hats. That's right, ladies. And now I'm a white knight simp just because I'm like, dude, this guy's, there's no winner here.
Yeah.
Just because she's a brat, you're taking these vulnerable girls who are, you think any 19-year-old girl wakes up one day and is like, you know what I want to do for a living? Put my asshole on the internet. There's some steps that happened here, right? And now these guys are trying to, like, like you said, dunk on these girls for clout. And the way he went about it, I'm like, nah, man, this guy's an asshole. And I said that, and then his fans
they were just
politely disagree.
Coming at you.
Who's the guy? You say.
So what happened?
Brian something or other from the whatever podcast. Brian.
Can you pull that up?
Yeah.
Yeah. Our producer
anything
just went
you
to
need,
take a piss, I think.
Oh, did he really?
He's not. There he's back. There he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll pull that up. But anyway, what happened?
Brian from the whatever podcast. Chris, pull him up.
So Gerard's
go to the whatever
pretty
podcast
hard on the thing.
He's the only. He's
he
the only one
goes
that
and
follows.
he only asks to talk to Candace. So and she's like,
our co-host on
the show Cancel Weekly that we do.
Okay.
He knows he's a big fan.
He's a huge fan. Yeah. But he only asks her, and then she's like, well, like Mickey and Gerard are like my work husbands. I'd like them to come on to her, and they go women only.
Yeah, this is after,
So
by the way, it's me
gonna,
that's been talking all the
yeah.
And that, to bring it full circle, why I got in the comments, because I won't let you I'll show those dudes what a real alpha is in that comment. Like, if you're going to come correct, come correct. Yeah. Bring some facts. Call me something other than fat. We got that, all right? What else? And that's why I said, I was like, this is your king?
I saw this dork call, I'm pretty sure call us betas. I almost started to reply, but I was like, I'm just going to.
Shit.
It's what are you even gonna do?
Yeah.
Like you said in the beginning, they have access for whatever reason. They could say this. Would they ever say to our face, Gerard?
That was my whole point.
No, never.
My whole point is, I got a feeling the tone of this conversation is different if he's sitting here having a conversation instead of just him at his show with a room full of women where they say.
And if Candace is there, he might feel like he could talk a type of way to her when he's not going to talk that way in front of me and Gerard. Not a chance in the.
I'd have respect for him if he tried.
You
it's not going to go the way he thinks it's going to go, but I'd have respect for him if he tried.
Dog, I could touch you in this room. Right?
Yeah, right, bro. Do you have the police on standby?
Yeah, what's going on here? You're awfully confident.
What's going on here? Yeah, so anyway, the whole thing with that, to circle back to the point that you were making, right, is there's so many people that are searching for answers right now because we are all guinea pigs. We've never lived in a society where everything is always on air at all times. We've never lived in a place. Now, you've decided to live your life very publicly. So this is part of it, right? Like part of it is you want the highs. You got to be able to go through the lows. Right. Otherwise, you kind of signed up for this, right? Mm-hmm. But the other side of it is too, like, you didn't sign up to be a self-promoter. You didn't sign up to be a social media person. You didn't sign up to have to run a gym. You just wanted to be a fighter. Right. So how do you simplify your life but also,
take advantage of the opportunities?
Bingo. Yeah.
You're asking me that?
That's
Yeah,
what he's
sure.
asking
Damn.
you. Yeah,
That's a hard one.
It's a hard ass question, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it was only 8 minutes long, so take whatever you want.
You
out of
can,
it.
as much as you'd like to unpack from that
unpack.
question.
Yeah, because like at the end of the day, it's like you might get paid more to do everything else than fight.
Right.
You know, you're getting paid more to you know.
I think it depends on what you value, and that's where like all these polar like arguments is based on different people's perspective and just like what you value. So it's like we're gonna argue about who's the coolest or who's the best or whatever. It's like it's your opinion of what you know where you're at.
Yeah, but I mean, do you feel? And I hate to keep going to this well, but do you feel a certain sense of anger that here you are fighting Junior Dos Santos, you know, Bare-Knuckle? You've had 15 fights in the UFC, but if you were fighting Jake Paul, you'd probably make 3 times as much money. You know, like just because he made a couple cool vines.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying. I'm not mad about it. I'm not mad because I understand it. I understand why. And if I wanted to go down that road, then I would dedicate myself to just being like a personality and trying to do that, you know. So, you know, I think it's part of it. You know,
living your truth.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be where I am right now if I didn't have some type of marketing and promoting. Honestly, I mean, like I'm not just down there like, oh no comment. No podcast, nothing. I'm just gonna fight and I'm gonna win my way to. Like that's kind of hard to do, you know. So I kind of marketed my way partially to where I am now and strategically did the things that I would do because that's part of it, you know. But I understand that you're getting paid. You're getting paid for the amount of eyes that you have and stuff. So it's an entertainment. So it's like the better entertainers are gonna make more money.
Yeah.
And stuff. So you know. So I get that. So I think it's for me. It's like it's finding where I can kind of fit in with my personality. What can I actually do? And I don't have like a pie in the sky idea of like who I'm going to turn into or whatever, you know. And I'm pretty solid in my identity and my personality and that type of thing. And all I do is I just try to get a little bit better at communicating, a little bit better at this, you know, podcast interviews. You know, find different type of maybe I won't say publicity stunt, but things that are you know that get you PR. Without breaking my values and, you know, things that I really stand on or whatever, and then put a lot of focus in my mind and my body and training for the fight and actually winning, you know, because that's one thing I took into consideration with this whole thing is like I'm gonna come back, I'm gonna build myself back and win that bare-knuckle belt, and then I'll probably go into MMA or boxing or have, you know, for the bigger paydays or whatever. So what are the things that are gonna make me marketable? So I decided right away that it's got to be a win streak. It's got to be undefeated, you know. So this fight that I'm going into is my 12th fight in 2.5 years since I came back. So I started training probably 3.5 years ago, and I trained for about a year.
You took how long off?
8 years.
You took 8 years off of training.
Yeah. Well, I took 8 years off of fighting. So I was training the whole time, but more just coaching and teaching and like just, you know, staying in there because I love martial arts, you know. So like when I stop fighting, I already kind of just decided that I'm just going to keep getting better. I want to figure out some way to just keep getting wiser and keep getting better at what I do. Even when my speed goes or whatever, I'll make up for it some other way. So I want to do this for the rest of my life. And I think it's something that you can do, you know, pretty much till you die is, you know, training and, you know, martial arts.
I was told you don't die.
Yeah.
There's like a very, very small percentage chance is what I was told.
Right.
Yeah, in the cage.
Sorry.
Oh, we're talking. Oh, yeah.
But it's, you know what? Speaking of that, I don't even believe that we die.
Oh.
I thought that's where you were going. I was like, oh, we're going there. Look at it. Open up.
Really? You believe in spiritual ascension?
No, I mean, every day I've woken up, I don't see why that's ever going to stop.
Oh, you've never died.
I've not died yet. So I have not, you know what I mean? I've seen people die.
So far immortal.
So far I'm
trust the science, the math.
All of us
shows
here, guys. Congratulations to us all. Everybody you listening, congratulations.
My sister flatlined and she came back, so she's on number 2.
Oh,
Thank
hell
God.
yeah.
Hell yeah, Allison.
Well, have you ever heard of the Buddhist way of looking at this? What you're talking about?
The Buddhist. I always get Hindu, Buddhism, and Taoism confused. Is that where you come back and ascend or descend depending on how well you've lived your life?
There's variations of it, but it's kind of like
reincarnation.
Everything is going down and up. Everything is like on a wave, and so you get, and we experience this from. We can get real deep with it, but like on a core level, underneath all, if you go back far enough, it's like what we're doing now is just manifesting what the whole creation of the universe is doing. So everything is just spinning. Everything is just repeating. We go around the sun. It's like over and over, and things are just repeating or whatever. So it's like in your life, you can see how that's happening too. It's like you got a high, and then there's a low, and there's a high, and there's a low, and that's just how it goes. So it's like whenever you live and then you die, and then what happens then?
Yeah,
it's like it just keeps going.
So that's I've heard nihilists describe that, the kind of I think they call it the flat circle theory type of a deal, and the idea that everything that's happened and is going to happen has already happened, and it's just kind of where you are on the dial of it. What exposed you to the Buddhist thought here? Where did you get into the Buddhist?
Oh yeah, in my time off from fighting, I just went really deep in that, like spirituality. Studied a lot, read the Bible and read a lot of different religious texts, and looked into. I was like, what is this? This Islam religion. And
so by the time you started,
sorry
to cut you off. By the time you stopped fighting, I'm just trying to get an idea, a profile of who you were as a person then and who you are now. You stopped fighting. You came off a very disappointing loss.
Yeah.
Your marriage is in trouble at the time. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So your world is kind of crumbling. You're falling apart a little
100%.
bit. 100%. And so in that dark moment, I imagine you're dealing with depression, right? And you've got a business that you're trying to run. You got a family that you're trying to feed. You got young kids at the time. All right. What made you say, all right, one, I'm going to stop doing this? And then how did you get on your spiritual journey?
Well, so one of the factors of me stopping fighting that it's almost like forgotten now, because everybody's like, I'm back fighting. Is like
15 fights is a lot of fights, but 29 at your weight class it's not old. You weren't old,
right? No.
Yeah,
no, not at all. Yeah, but to me, I was kind of putting a cap on it. I was like, I want to be a world champion by 30. And so once I got to that age and I wasn't there, I was like, well, if I can't be the best in the world, I don't want to do this. But what people would say that stopped my career the first time was my eye injury. So I had a detached retina, two different ties. So I had 2 or 3 surgeries, and I had the retina reattached, and then in the Bisping fight, I had to have a surgery because he poked me in the eye and it tore my eyelid. And
well, in fairness, he was just trying to even the odds.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. So yes.
Did his come after you? I think his came after.
I think
right?
Yeah, I'm not sure. It was probably.
It was like some instant karma though. Oh. It might have been like a fight or two after.
Oh, really?
Instant karma. Yeah, I had that happen in 2010, and so that was I had already kind of been through like a super low time where I was just like, man, this is all, I just got poked in the eye, I got an eye surgery, I can't do this anymore. And it was my whole entire identity and my whole world, and my just everything was wrapped around it. So it really took a lot of work to build myself back up, and then to get back into training. It was about a year and a half.
Build yourself back up as a man or as a fighter?
As just to get myself back in where I wanted to do it again, because everything was pointing at, I was thinking of the health thing, and I was like, man, this is you can't fight without an eye or whatever. So I mean, apparently you can. So so it took me about a year and a half the first time, and I got back in it, and then I went on a 4-fight streak, and I was doing really well. And then boom, down a low again. And it's like I never addressed the core issues. It was like I couldn't handle losing, and I couldn't look at it. I just put a bigger meaning on it or whatever. So it just crushed me emotionally. I was an emotional person, and I really didn't show it either, which I think made it a lot worse. Is because no one really thought I was emotional. They thought that I was really stoic back then. But it was, it really sucks. So I justified it as, my eye injury, whatever, and I'm going to go make money, because that's really what all this is really about anyways, is making money. So I just started chasing that and going in that direction. And I had a lot of success, what people would say is success or whatever. But it just didn't make me happy, So I started looking into what I needed to do, and I just started down that journey, man, and just one thing leads to another. You start just kind of going back and trying to figure out. I was an atheist at that time, I would say, and it was I always hid that from my family and from everyone around me, because I was just kind of like ashamed of it. But I was like, I go to church and stuff, but I really don't believe it. I just had a whole different perspective, and they call it like a
culturally Christian.
Yeah, and was there was like a different lens. I used to see the world through a different lens or whatever, and I wanted to change that or whatever. So I just went on a mission to kind of.
So are you a Buddhist?
No, I'm not. I'm not a.
Not to put labels on it, but
no, I'm not a Buddhist. No, I'm just. I would say just a spiritual person. I feel like I have my own understanding. Everyone. If you look into, you go to a church, whatever the domination is, and it could be, a very specific thing. Every
Episcopalian.
There's different religions.
That's a good Freudian slip right there. Because of the indoctrination.
Oh, the indoctrination, yeah.
And you know what I mean? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you believe there's a God?
Yes.
So you're not an atheist anymore?
No, I'm not an atheist. Yeah, no. I have my own relationship with what I consider God. We'll put it that way. And I think that's really important, because there's no way not to have a God. So you're either going to worship yourself or worship the culture or what you're trying to do, or you can find out a way to realize that you're just you're a small part of something that's way bigger, and that takes a lot of the pressure off of you. Psychologically, it really helps out a lot. So I mean, everyone you got different religions, you have different denominations, and then you go to a specific, this one down here on this corner, and you go inside of that, and then each one of those people have a totally different perspective. Maybe similar, because they've all kind of like, we all kind of think the same, and we like being in this particular church or whatever, but each person that's a religious, whatever, a leader or the guy that's preaching, we say a preacher, they have their own ideology too. So, everyone has a different perspective. So you can, that's my debate with the whole.
Can I ask you a very difficult question?
Go ahead.
If you can ask, I mean, motherfucker don't got to answer.
It's true, and you don't feel like you don't have to answer. Please don't answer. Yeah. If you had come to this level of personal understanding and emotional maturity earlier, do you think you could have saved your marriage?
Man, I don't really. I think in the past is dead and gone, man, and I don't really look at it that way. Of course, I would say yes, because I have different skills now, I have a different way of looking at things, but it's just everything happens, and you're they're kind of like lessons for you. So we're growing, and that's the kind of way that I look at it. I look at things that happen as that had to happen for me to get here.
Kind of to ascend to the plane you're on now.
Yeah, exactly. But I will say that I am different now, and so now going into when I get married again, that would be a totally different scenario, and that's really what's important. I feel like, because you can't go back. The past is gone.
Yeah. Very much so. You've been on a bit of a spiritual journey yourself, man. You seem to at least be somewhat searching, huh? Like you're interested or curious, I think it would be maybe a better way to say it.
More curious than I have been, for sure. Yeah. I'm open. I've always been open. I've never been closed off to things. But I've talked about on the podcast, there was a point where I kind of closed myself off from everything that was almost like just told. I just started questioning everything. You know what I mean? Probably like around the time I was like, like 19 years old, something like that. You know what I mean? You get told stuff your whole life. You know what I mean? And for a lot of it, like, you believe in it. And I saw how it's easy to just have a belief. No, this is just the way it is. This, you know what I mean?
Right.
And I didn't want to be like that. I want to just have a fixed mindset. And so I wanted to, be open to other things. But now that is something I'm finding that I'm searching for. And I've read, different type of religious texts as well. But I'm still on my spiritual journey, I'd say.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't think that it ever really ends. I mean, if you're in a place where you're uncomfortable because you're lost and you need something, that's one thing, and I feel like I'm past that, to where I'm like, okay, I have my understanding of it, but I really want to keep getting stronger. I want to keep getting stronger in that area or whatever.
Did anybody mentor you through this process, or is there any authors that you read that kind of influenced this personal growth?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think, getting around people that have been through that or going through it. My friends during that stage, if you look at that first part of my career, are not my friends now.
Interesting. Is that by choice?
And I have some really good older friends that have been there and that are always be there if I call them or whatever. But on a day-to-day basis, I feel like now I actually have friends, and to me, it just the guys that you can really open up to and say anything to, and I didn't have that before for whatever reason. I think just because my ego was just so strong that I was so defensive. I had a mask on that was like trying to show, these guys what I wanted to look like or whatever. And once I learned how to kind of remove that and just be myself or whatever, then I was able to, kind of connect with the right guys, and everything lines up at the right time, seems like sometimes. So, I just had a couple buddies that had kind of gone through, different stages or whatever, that I just kind of started opening my mind to, checking that out.
That's super interesting. I think also it's probably a little bit of a case of kind of like how you said with the marriage. Like, you wouldn't have gotten to where you're at without it. You know what I mean? Without, like, that you're finding the right people because, like, you're open to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I understand that too. Like, as like men, we like to kind of we'll hold it all in, take it all. Nah, I'm good.
I
don't
want to be vulnerable publicly anyway.
Yeah, but vulnerability is a part of growth. It's a big part of growth. You know what I mean?
Jordan Peterson talks about the lobster. That's his whole point.
He cries a lot.
Yeah, well, Hey, JP, 12 rules for life. Love me some Jordan Peterson. Don't really care. I got to go back and forth, though, because he can be a little fatalist. I go Jordan Peterson, Alan Watts. Jordan Peterson, Alan Watts is my yin and the yang right there. Yeah. So, you got very, very interesting stuff here. Very, very important stuff. I hope everybody's
like
enjoying.
We're gonna have to do a part 2 and break down a lot of this stuff. But hey, so
Chris, if there's any comments at any times,
what are your thoughts for this fight, man? And what are your thoughts? Not to look too far ahead, but like going forward, like what do you is Gamebred, is that your new home? You're gonna be the king of Gamebred for a while. You looking to make a move? What are you feeling?
Yeah, so I mean, like one reason I chose to go the path when I came back, I got my release from UFC, so I could just go and do boxing. And I was like, hey, I want to go do box. I don't want to fight. I don't want to do that. I want to box, and that's like I was boxing and doing MMA when I first got in the UFC, and I got locked into that contract, and they're like, you're old, and you haven't been around for like 6 years or something now. So they got me out of that contract. So I was like, all right, now what do I really want to do with this? So every move that I've made going forward has been like, can I fight anywhere that I want? So everywhere because right now I'm contracted with Gamebred and Misfits Boxing. And so I still have.
What is Misfits? Whose promotion is that? Is that like a Jake Paul thing?
That's the KSI. That's KSI, yeah, and partner with Wasserman, and just like MVP is Jake Paul and Wasserman. So they're both. They're kind of the same thing or whatever. So it's like an influencer.
So how does that work that you're contracted with both? And does that mean you're doing boxing fights with them?
Yeah. I had a fight, a boxing match. I don't know, about 6 months ago or something, 8 months ago, and with them, and I have a couple more fights with them. And And so I signed with Gamebred, and they leave it open to do whatever. So
That's
what
cool.
influencer
That's cool
looked at
about that
Alan
freedom.
Belcher and was like, yeah, that's the one. That's
well,
the one.
yeah, well, it
Line
was,
him up.
we trained for Hasim Rockman Jr. So that was
okay.
that was gonna be a decent
Rock
little fight,
Jr.,
but he faked the injury and got
So
out
he
of it.
pulled out with the
Damn.
other guy too, the same way. That's the second time
Is
he's
that
done it,
right?
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got a history of doing that.
Yeah. He showed up at the weigh-ins with a big thing on his elbow and stuff, and a little piece of paper that was like, look
Look at my doctor's note. Oh, come
a
on,
doctor's
bro.
note. I swear.
Come on.
That's great.
Ugh.
Yeah.
But,
The Rock. That
mhm.
beat Lennox Lewis, man.
Mhm.
Fucking A.
Lennox Lewis beat everybody who beat him.
Yep. Lennox Lewis was bad.
Yeah.
Bad.
Hell yeah.
6'1", like, and now what? Tyson Fury's 4 inches taller than him. How would you handle Tyson Fury? Bare-knuckle.
MMA or
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
because that's the thing about you. You were always very well rounded, like from the jump. You know what I mean. Like you had great kickboxing. You showed off your groundwork. We still got to pull up that Husmar
let's pull it
clip
up.
because
Let's
that's
pull
just legendary. That's up there. One of my literally one of my favorite fights. I remember watching that live.
And that was crazy. Like for people that don't remember, Paul Harris was like ripping
He
people's
was breaking
limb.
everybody's.
And,
legs off, man.
people were tapping, and he wasn't letting
He
go.
wasn't letting
Right.
go.
What the hell was that about?
That's where your health could really be at risk in a fight like this. Keep it, let it roll.
And that was the first time ever, like, your business is breath work or whatever. And so we're helping him, kind of like, make his business better. And so he set it up, like he knew people in Tulum. So he was going back and forth to Tulum. And there's just a lot of, modern modalities and stuff for like growth and spirituality.
Mickey's
and stuff.
all into that stuff, yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, cool, I want to go down there and check it out and have this guy speak or whatever. So like he kind of sparked that interest into me, something that I really didn't know anything about. I was like, I need to know more about this because the way that the guy talked about it or whatever. So we went down to that trip, and it was a show. It was like that's when my drinking and drug use and stuff was like at its high, and it was just like those events were productive during the day, but we were just partying and stuff at night, and we're like, okay, we're going to do this for 2 or 3 days, and we're going to stay a whole nother week and just party and all that. And that's what my life was kind of at the time.
Because you need that rush, man.
Yeah.
You need that rush. You need that, I need that action, baby.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You're looking for something, but you're looking in the wrong place, basically. So that trip was kind of like the end for me because I hit a point to where nothing really made me like satisfied me, and I was just like, it's like when you're in drug or alcohol use, you get to a point where it's like, why am I doing this? It doesn't even make me happy like it used to, like a couple years ago, or whatever. You know what I mean? I can't even get high anymore or whatever. So it was just that we're in this beautiful place with all this like awesome, energy, and there's cool stuff going on, but I just felt and I was really surrounded by people. There was a lot of people there that had kind of been through this type of thing, and they kind of got their life together, and I saw people that were that didn't drink alcohol and whatever. So it just opened my mind to a lot of different things. And so on that ride back, I was like, a girl that I was with at the time, I was like, she's got to go. We were engaged to be married. I was like, it was the wrong thing. I was like, she's got to go, and I'm just gonna reinvent my entire life. So I just did it to like a crazy extreme. So I sold everything, set myself up to where like all the payments of them buying me out of my business would last me a couple of years, and downsized everything so I could make that go further, and just went full in on it, and that just one thing. Then once you get on the right track, it seems like things start falling into place.
For sure.
You see what I'm saying?
No, absolutely.
So after that, it was just like one thing after another, bing, bang, boom. And like, well, maybe I can fight. How am I going to do this? And then it was like, oh, Bare-Knuckle. Oh, I think I can figure that out. And I see a path here. I can win that belt and use that as leverage and build myself up and use that as publicity to get something else or whatever. And in the meantime, I'll start pro boxing, so when I started winning boxing in between those fights, and I was like, I got different opportunities. Everything kind of lined up there,
Yeah.
It takes balls. What you did to, really it takes balls to, make any type of change, but especially such a big change like that.
Yeah.
But it must have been so worth it for you, brother. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, it really was. Well, I got to a point where I could feel what I was needed to do, and I couldn't ignore it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that was a cool experience for me, because before that I felt like I was leading the show and I was screwing everything up. Mm-hmm. And then I got to a point where it was like, oh, I know what I need to do. I just have to do it.
Do you think, in retrospect,
mm-hmm.
you were punishing yourself for failing in the UFC? Do you think, in retrospect, you knew what you were doing was wrong? Your story on a much higher level is somewhat similar to mine, and in retrospect, that dark path I went down, I think I was trying to commit suicide, but I just didn't have the balls to do it, and I was just like slowly just trying to kill myself.
Yeah.
But the other side of it was I was also punishing myself, my body, for failing me. Yeah. I was punishing myself for sure, no doubt about it.
Yeah. I feel that. Yeah, I feel that for sure. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, man. It was a dark thing. The more you go down that road, you just become less conscious, and just you gotta somehow wake up and get out of that.
Yeah, you do. There's normally a rock bottom moment, or there's somebody that really comes in and helps. And again, going back, and this has been such a phenomenal conversation. Thanks so much for having us with us again. Was there anything that you read? Was there any mentors that you have? Who did you lean on at this time to kind of, because I mean, what you're talking about is cleansing. This is, you're talking about spiritual cleansing, physical cleansing. Your body's out of shape.
It's like a rebirth. It's like a rebirth. It's like
yeah.
They call it a midlife crisis.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks different to different people, but it's like at some point,
the
old you is not gonna do it anymore, and you have a choice to where if you don't have some type of rebirth, you're going to go unconscious. And I see that with some older people are wiser, and then some are just, they're not really here.
Alan, I feel like it's a different life entirely. Rebirth is such a perfect word. I feel like it was a different person than I am now.
That's it, man.
I'm not even like, it's hard for me to think of things as if I was in the same body. It's very strange.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it to people. It's you put it perfectly. It's like one day that me died.
Yeah.
And another me had to grow.
Mm-hmm.
And I've said it before, and I look back on those days, and these are days people say, or like think of in terms of being my best days. Yeah. And I'm ashamed of who that guy was, frankly. But it's a really difficult thing. It's a hard thing. It's a hard thing to go through, and I hope nobody really has to go through it. I really do. It's a thing. Yeah. It really is. It's a brutal thing to be at war with yourself. It's one of the things that I admire most about Mick is, he had surgery, he's had upheaval in his life, but every day gets up and does the right thing.
Yeah.
Without the goal, without the brass ring for me, every day I got up and I was a nonstop life-ruining machine, man. And it takes a very special type of person to be able to. It
takes a lot of pain. Like the harder it is, and the more pain that there is surrounded by it, is kind of like working out. It's like the harder you push it, the more you crush your body, the more you're gonna grow back more. And I think, I don't have it all figured out, but it seems like everyone is experiencing that to some extent. And there's something that's inside of, say, like a fighter, that you have a spirit that is just have this will to live, and you don't know what it is. So it's like you're going to have to really feel a lot more pain than a normal person to get to that next level. And that's just how it is. It's like you're not satisfied with as other people are. You know what I mean? Right. Like you're not satisfied just living, what you would call like a normal life and just settling down and settling in and being comfortable, and that's something that you're kind of born with. So some of us are wired a little bit different, and it's going to be necessary to go through a little bit more pain.
Well, that's where your confidence comes from right there. You know, you look at across and everybody says, how can you not be scared of that man? That guy can't do anything to me. I wouldn't do 10 times worse to myself.
Oh, yeah.
That guy can't say anything to me I haven't said 1,000 times worse to myself. I'm not afraid of that man. I'm afraid of when the lights are off, me in the room. That's the most dangerous time.
Yeah, 100%, man. Yeah, I used to hate myself, dude. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I couldn't stand the person that I turned. I wanted to be a totally different person, but I knew that I wasn't living the right life. So, you know, I just desperately wanted to fix that, you know, and I think that it's just harder. It's harder for some people. I think that it has something to do with how, like, in it you really are and how unconscious you are to what the actual reality is. You know, it's like an ego thing. It's, you know, there's a lot to it, you know, but you gotta break that mold and break it down somehow and rebuild it, you know. So
are you able to impart any of this wisdom on your kids without them having to go through it themselves? Is there
yeah, and I think, you know, here's the thing with the kids is, like, the parenting is how you kind of help, you know, your kids avoid that. They're going to have to go through growing pains, no doubt about it, you know. But the parenting, if you half-ass parent your kids, you know, or if you don't value it as, like, the highest thing that you're meant to do, then your kids are going to end up in a similar situation, you know, because it's your job to lead them down there, because all their mental health issues and stuff like that are essentially going to come from you and the behavior that their parents have.
Unprocessed trauma and all, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's where, you know, parents are, you know, causing it, but unknowingly, not on purpose. You're not trying to hurt their kids. It's just been, you know, given down from the parents before that or whatever, you know. So it's about breaking that cycle, you know. So my kids are really mentally healthy, you know. So I feel like that if you got kids, you gotta look at that like you got to get skills in parenting, you know. So I try to get my parenting skills better and be a better father and, you know, lead them down the right path. And I know at some point they're going to have those questions where, you know, they're trying to find themselves, they're trying to figure out their path or whatever. And it's like, I'm prepared for that, you know, and I'm going to help lead them down the right way.
Mm-hmm. How open and honest are you going to be? How old were they when you were kind of going through this darkness?
Oh man, I guess they were probably like in a period of like 4 years old to 8 years old, somewhere in that type of thing.
So they're going to be a little bit too young to know, but if they ever, you know, your kids become of age, 17, 18 years old, right, and then they start asking questions, how, you know, I'm always interested, because I don't have kids. I don't know if I'm going to have kids. Mick, you think you're going to have kids or what? Definitely going to have kids. How open and honest do you think it is to be with those kids about, you know?
Oh, yeah, I think you got to be.
Because the old Irish Catholic way is nothing ever happened. Your mom had sex 3 times in her life.
Yeah.
You know, you know, they don't ask, don't tell type of a deal.
Yeah, I think you got to be. I got to think you got to tell them how it is. It's your job to show them what the reality is. So I think all the way open, 100%. You know, there's a certain, you know, you don't talk to a 5-year-old about having sex, but there's a certain time.
Well, you do if you're a teacher in New York.
I was gonna say nowadays, shit.
But yeah, man, I think we have a huge influence on our kids.
Well, your 16-year-old comes home, you know, drinking. How do you handle that one? You know, your 16-year-old was drunk. I was drunk at 16, but now as like an adult, you sit there and you look at a 16-year-old drunk, you're like, what the kid? Like, you know, I mean, what type are these like things that you wait to see how?
Yeah, I'm kind of curious when you talked about parent skills. Like, are you getting your skills on the fly, or is this stuff like you're researching and reading?
I mean, no, yeah, I from time to time I'll go like a couple weeks and I'm like, man, I'm not getting better as a parent, so I'm like, I need to learn more. So I'm reading, you know. So I just
you're very diligent. You're very diligent, and I think that's a great thing in, you know, in fighting and in anything where you're especially fighting, because I can relate to that, because you're forced to confront reality, whether it's something you did wrong in a fight or in training, or in something that you're gonna learn that lesson and you're gonna do something about it. But everything you're telling me here is like everything you didn't like, you stopped, you made a change.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think being diligent about that, because people can procrastinate, they could put that Let me do another week. I'll do it in a couple. You know what I mean? You can keep putting that off, or you can be diligent and, you know, handle that right there.
Procrastination is a trauma response too. A lot of times people think it's laziness or whatever, but sometimes it's just, man, they know that this is a dangerous thing and they just don't want to do it. That's one of the things I know. I mess around with, like, all the modern modalities you were talking about. I like Christos about, he goes in the cold tub and everything like that. I'm like, so what? If Joe Rogan told you, you know, mental tough-ness would be a dildo up your ass, you're gonna do that next? Or like, what's the, you know? But
well, there is that thing there. Huberman and Goggins were talking about, where like anything like uncomfortable, like you have a growth response in your brain from it. So there might be something to that.
David Goggins just running with a Sibian behind him.
Yeah,
just like
just getting pounded in the front.
Just an AI Tesla Sibian.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why he's been running nonstop, because as soon as he stops, that
I
thing
don't know what's
catches
going
up.
on in these shorts.
Yeah.
Got a different meaning to stay hard, right?
Yeah, stay hard. I want to be around hard men. Like being around hard men. If you're not hard, you can't be around me. David, I feel like you're reaching out here, bud. So you're reaching out and someone's reaching around. But, yeah, but the idea of like training yourself to get after, you know, the thing. You really can. You can be like, all right, got to get it done. If I don't do it, it's not going to get done. I got to get it done. Got to get it fucking done.
Or bite the bullet.
Yeah, or in my world, I just realize I'm never going to do it, and I hire the cleaning lady. I'm just not going to do it. You know, I'm just not going to do it. I'll spend the money. And now that's the other thing, is like outsourcing it, because like, you know, you feel like less of a man if you don't do your quote-unquote chores, and that's the way we're brought up. And I'm like, no, I work to not do this. Right. I don't want to do it. Somebody else do it. Somebody willing to do it. Costs what? $20 an hour? Yeah. That's worth way more than $20 an hour to me. You know, so yeah, well, you know, the whole like military thing, wake up in the morning, make your bed. I got people for that. Thanks to NVIDIA and short and Tesla stock. We're good. Like, we got people for that, bro. There's this like almost there's this like moment in our time and our culture where everybody is trying to redefine what it means to be a man. What does it mean to be a man? And I think this is a lot of it. Being able to sit with yourself, have honest conversations with yourself, identify the issue, and make the appreciable changes time after time, day after day. Everybody can have one good day, you know?
Yeah.
Well, can you string a couple of them together and make change? That's some manly yeah, and it's not easy. Especially like you said, if you're not able to, it's a mind thing where you got to wake up one day and say, man, everybody in my life has got to go. That's a thing.
Oh yeah.
My friends got to go. They're part of the problem. This place has got to go. It's part of the problem. That's a thing. And you kind of lived through that, I imagine, with your sister. You know, not to bring her into it, but
it's okay.
Yeah.
What do you mean though?
Well, when it comes to addiction,
I feel like
alcoholism,
she had to do it.
Yeah. But you're part of that. You know, people got to pick up and leave and go. You know, I gotta go. I gotta get out of here. Jersey's for somebody else. Doesn't feel like my home anymore. Leave it all behind. Different person here, healthier, happier. You know, and that's not running away from your problems or anything like that. To me, it's like, man, I gotta realign, refocus, and I can't do that. Like you said in the past, I'm surrounded by nothing but past. I'm surrounded by nothing but failure. I gotta find somewhere new, start over. You know, not be reminded, not be triggered by these things. You know, some wild shit. And unfortunately, I think that's kind of going back to the social media and everything like that. Some people are just, it's inescapable. It's inescapable. Like, you know, your girl left you, and that's the trigger that got you, and then you're on fucking Instagram looking at her happy with her new fucking husband every day, and it's like, all right, hello, Jack, my old friend. You'll never leave me.
Yeah.
You know, and then the problem with Jack is you can only have a couple of them before you need something to stay awake to have a couple more.
Who's Jack?
Huh?
Who's Jack? Is this your?
Oh, Jack Daniels.
Oh.
Yeah, Jack Daniels. No, it's not. That's not a gay thing either. Talking about a lot of gay stuff. This is Jack Daniels. Yeah, but you know.
He's got to jack off, and then he's got to jack off with the David Goggins dildo in his ass.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, it just keeps escalating.
It's protein. It's part of the carnivore diet. But once you had that purpose, I bet it was easier. Once you see something in front of you, then you could start accelerating, I imagine, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Once you put that ring in front of you. So you were 6 years out and you said, I'm going to fight again. How long before you actually fought?
Yeah, probably within 2 years. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it was like a year of kind of like contemplating it and kind of working out, or like going towards that idea, and then committing to it. There was like 1 year. It's like, all right, I'm gonna do it. I need like a year to get ready.
And then when you came back in, man, was it like you never did it before? It was like walking back into
my first one was I had some questions, I had some doubt and stuff, so I was just kind of unsure or whatever. So yeah, after that first one though, I was like, I'm not gonna fight another decision. I want a decision, like a unanimous decision, and it was a good performance, but I was like, I got to knock everybody out. This isn't gonna work. I'm
not getting paid by the hour.
Yeah. So, yeah, just went on a streak of knockouts. Like, I'm gonna become a knockout artist. So I just started learning everything I could about how to knock someone out, and the timing and the setting things up and just being a smarter fighter. And I was like, I can just lead everyone into a trap and just knock them out. So I just knocked out 10 guys in a row.
Do we not want to tell people what those?
I think so. I think because earlier when I asked about difference in the game, I backed off it because I feel like he doesn't want to discuss.
Oh, we can talk about it off air. We can talk about it
off air. I'm gonna have to pick his brain a little bit about a couple of these things.
Yeah, I just
a couple two, three things.
I want to know a little something about how you knocking people out. So you want to talk about the fight? We got a big fight this weekend, man.
Big fight. Yeah, we're gonna be up there. We're gonna go check it out.
Oh, cool.
We're gonna go support. It's up in Orlando. It's a Gamebred FC. You got the card up there, Christian? Because I know our boy Chase Sherman, who's your boy. Chase, yeah. You're like his mentor kind of in the game. Speaks very highly of you.
Yeah.
He did the show. Really impressed the hell out of us.
That's my big little brother right there.
Yeah, you guys have definitely had these conversations. Definitely had.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. 100%. Yeah. Yeah. It's part of it. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, dude. I used to be all in my head, you start talking about it, it's just like, it's therapy.
Oh yeah, and then
sure.
you find your guys, the people that engage in this type of stuff, and the people that are willing to learn and ask questions. Those are your people. Yeah, that's your tribe, and now you can be your true self around them.
Yeah. My friend Robbie Ellis is a huge part of this. He's you find someone that's like, all right, we're gonna go through this together. We're on a mission, So I was getting back into it, and I was like, I gotta fix my shoulder, and I got to fix my hip. I had like all kinds of little things that are gone now. So he's just like, he's at the same level of the detail and trying to be the best in the world at what he does, and he's like he's a movement guy, but just everything.
That's the guy you're doing the warm-ups with, where you're like flowing around. What was his name?
Robbie Ellis.
Okay.
Yeah, Movement Doc on Instagram.
Okay.
But yeah, man, we have a conversation every day. Yeah, so we work out every day, and then we have a conversation afterwards. It's just like natural. We don't want to like have time to just like, all right, let's do our therapy session, but it just goes into a conversation. It's just like, and we came a long ways in the last 2 years. So that's been my buddy that has been on this journey with me. We both been help each other through the thing, and he saw things that I couldn't see at the time. And we just help each other out.
Yeah, work out your body and then work out your mind and your spirit as well, right? I mean, it's all part of it. Nobody wants to feel like, the people you're training with or you're trusting, you can't really be open with them, I would imagine, right?
Right.
These are your guys. They're in the foxhole with you, and you're going out there. It's just, again, man, it's just so impressive. It really is. It's so, I can't believe you're fighting a bare-knuckle world heavyweight champion in 5 days, and it's like, you're cool as a cucumber.
Yeah. Should I be nervous?
No,
it's Alan.
To us mortals, yeah, probably. I'd be probably pretty jacked up. I'd probably be excited, but just another day at the office, man. That's pretty cool, dude.
Yeah.
That's a pretty cool thing, man.
I think if I let myself get outside of that, then it's like it's not gonna
It's not gonna help.
It's not gonna offend well for you. No, not at all.
Yeah.
Gotta stay cool, stay relaxed.
Where can people find you? And do you want them to follow you? Do you want to go?
Is it the Alan Belcher official, or is it just Alan Belcher official?
Alan Belcher official.
Alan Belcher official.
Alan Belcher official. Definitely check him out. Check out Gamebred MMA, Bare-Knuckle
Yeah,
MMA.
come up there and come hang out with Slick and Thick, watch the fights with us.
Yeah, Orlando. Beautiful Orlando. You know who's in Orlando?
I do.
I'll be in and out, bro. I'll be in and out quick. I'll be like, well, it was good to see you, buddy. Good job, good fight. So that's awesome, man. Alan, before we get out of here, man, I just want to say thank you so much. This has been incredible. Thank you for being so open and honest with us. And I think, you know, you're as powerful as you are as a man and as an athlete. You know, I think, you know, the power that you're going to be able to inspire other people to, you know, be vulnerable and honest with themselves is even more impressive.
Cool, man. Yeah, that's what I'm trying
Whenever
to do.
you're back down here, bro, come back on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I know you split your time between Biloxi and down here.
Mm-hmm.
What you on next fight? You can be back down here though.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Let's go. All
Yeah,
right, love having you in the gym.
I'm
bro.
gonna come back sooner this time. I'm trying to get back here before I really get into camp, or like put the beginning of camp. Probably I'll be back here. So
Hell
we'll
yeah.
do it again.
Maybe Pod Finney will get a little Chase Sherman, Alan Belcher show.
Hey,
right?
hey,
That'd be pretty fucking
hell
sick.
yeah, yeah. We'll get some psychedelics and we'll just let it ride.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Hell yeah, brother.
Hell yeah, we'll get deep into it. All right.
Yeah, you're the man, brother. Thank you.
For the great Mickey Gall, future champ Alan Belcher, past and future champ Alan Belcher, I'm Gerard Michaels. This has been Slick and Thick. We will see you guys next time. Peace.
Stay hard.